intelligent composable supply chains. Here today to talk about that is Rohit Tripathi, Principal CTO Office at Grid Dynamics. Hello, Rohit.
Hi,
Nice to
Helen.
meet you.
Hi, Helen.
Thank you for
Nice to be
joining
here.
us here.
Yeah.
So, Rohit, tell us, what is an intelligent composable supply chain?
Intelligence composable supply chain is about embracing heterogeneity in technology, in data sources, and making sure that the customers are able to keep up with the differing pace of innovation at layers of supply chain, especially when it comes to addressing resiliency.
So when you say heterogeneity, you mean, that you embrace all these different kinds of approaches to supply chain? What exactly do you mean?
That and more. So if you think of resiliency, and everybody started talking about heterogeneity in terms of your manufacturing location, in terms of your supplier base, similarly, I believe that it needs to be heterogeneity in your technology landscape
Ah.
as well.
Right. So if you're diversifying in your suppliers,
That's
you
right.
need to be looking at how you're diversifying, where you get your technology from, what you use it for. Is that right?
That is correct.
Right.
And moving away from that whole single monolith approach of like, this is the one stop shop, type thing, to
Right.
like, embracing, somewhat different solutions because your different layers of supply chain will have different levels of innovation and different needs.
So, Rohit, how do you recommend companies get started on this journey of a composable, heterogeneous, supply chain and technology approach?
So I think a lot of the customers that I interact with are somewhat already on that journey, but the starting point always has to be, an as-is situation assessment,
Right.
where you are, right, like in your landscapes today, and
Yes.
what that by that I mean you have to look at different layers. If you look at where are you in your cloud modernization layer, where are you in your data layer, your data meshes,
Right.
where are you in your systems of differentiation like inventory planning, demand planning, transportation, logistics, and then where are you in your systems of innovation like AI ML driven capabilities. So I think they have to look at that as is assessment, but the fundamental thing has to be starting from cloud modernization and getting your data stack right, because
Uh-huh.
everything builds on top of it.
Cloud modernization and getting your data stack right. That
Yes.
sounds like very good advice. Because, I'm sure you're aware, a lot of practitioners in this industry are still relying on Excel spreadsheets. How do you get how do you get off the addiction to Excel spreadsheets? Do you have any advice?
So look, Excel is a great tool,
Right.
right? And my thing is that like if you're a startup, you better be doing your supply chain on Excel and not investing all the money in big complex software,
Sure.
right? But as you evolve, you need to get away from that tool. It's almost like you have to unlearn that skill,
Yeah.
right? And I think the first thing for that is actually getting the element of asking the questions, and getting comfortable in asking those questions in more analytics, in more dashboard driven cultures, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then the second part which comes is, actually, and this is what I say is leadership and governance. If you as the CEO or the chief supply chain officer will start all meetings and discussions by looking into your tools and not by looking and staring into a PowerPoint or an Excel,
Huh.
you will drive that culture.
That's a great piece of advice. Thank you. So, do you see this whole business of intelligent composable solutions being offered in other areas? Are there analogies in other industries?
Yes, uh, and you have to understand like why my thing of intelligent composable capabilities, because there was the wave of hyperscalers and cloud, right? And everybody has embraced it, right? And now we have to make sure that you're using that platform to your advantage.
Right.
So the one big area where we've already seen a lot of success is in the area of e-commerce. So solutions like headless commerce or the Mark Alliance clearly are examples of where industries have embraced this and been successful.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what those are?
So in case of e-commerce, right, like or the Mac Alliance, which builds upon the ability of microservices, cloud platforms, APIs, and then of course not relying on just one vendor, right, or headless. And
Sure.
so that's
What you
Knock
mean by
is.
headless.
And then
Okay.
it brings it together, right?
Yes.
And then it makes it customized for each, sort of each, not just each industry, but then for each customer,
Sure.
because your supply
Or
chains will be unique.
each purchasing event even.
That is right.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That is right.
That's
So,
fantastic. So tell me a little bit about grid dynamics and what you do and how you're exploiting the opportunities of the intelligent composable supply chain.
so Grid Dynamics is a digital native technology consulting company. By what that mean is that, like, we are born in the cloud.
Yep.
We are the technology consulting partner for the Fortune 1000, and we provide engineering and technology consulting services to clients all around. There are four big blocks in which we focus on. First is, of course, your cloud modernization, microservices architecture-driven capabilities, then data structures, getting your data strategy right, and then, of course, helping you build AI, ML-driven systems of differentiation on top of that.
Wow. So pretty advanced stuff.
It is advanced stuff, and we pride on solving really hard problems. But more importantly, what we pride on is making sure that we deliver real value to our customers. Our approach is less about, how big of a team and how long of an engagement. It is more about how much of an impact we can deliver to our customers.
Right.
So we focus on that, as opposed to trying to, be all and end all for everything.
Right. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've been joined by Rohit Tripathi from Grid Dynamics. Thank you for watching.